someone eats a starchy, sugary meal, blood glucose levels will climb very rapidly. That is a lethal situation, actually, and you can die from what can happen with that chronically elevated glucose because of what's going on at the kidneys. And so insulin comes in from the pancreas into the blood to save the day. It basically opens doors in certain cells throughout the body, like muscle and fat cells, for that glucose to come from the blood into those cells, thereby lowering glucose. And then insulin, having done its job, retreats back into the background. However, that fails to highlight the fact that insulin has an effect on literally every single cell in the body. Every cell in the body has little doors that insulin can come and knock on and thus tell the cell to do something. The theme of what insulin does, if we tried to distill all of its thousands of chemical reactions to one central idea, is insulin tells cells what to do with energy. Some cells, it tells it to take in energy, like the muscle and the fat cells, but every other cell, it still tells the cell what to do with the energy that it has, what to do with amino acids and glucose and fats and ketones and lactate. It dictates energy use at every cell, and thus, by extension, it dictates energy use in the entire body. The average individual is coming to their physician visit once a year, and at every single visit, they will get their glucose numbers and then a bunch of lipid numbers, LDL cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, and triglycerides, and that'll almost be the end of it. Unfortunately, at no point has the word insulin ever entered into this conversation between patient and clinician. But the tragedy there is that someone could be coming into these doctor appointments year after year over decades, and the glucose is always normal. And so the physician or the clinic is never thinking that there is any hint of a metabolic problem. But in reality, insulin has been climbing steadily throughout every year at every visit. It's just evidence of the person's mounting insulin resistance. They have several times more insulin than they did. It's not working as well in controlling glucose, but they have so much that it works well enough and the glucose is staying in check. And it's only once the body has reached this, if you will, maximal point of insulin resistance, now the glucose starts to climb. And then we detect the problem with conventional thinking because we look at everything through the lens of glucose. So someone could be coming to the doctor and their glucose numbers may look normal, but they're gaining a little weight. Or let's say that their blood pressure is climbing, and blood pressure is one of the most common consequences of hypertension. Or it's a man and he's worried about erectile dysfunction, or the woman is worried about polycystic ovary syndrome, the most common forms of infertility. And those are both very intimately derived from insulin resistance.